Hello friends, our today's question is set matrix 0. So basically we are given a matrix of m cross n, and if an element is 0 we have to set its entire row and column to zeros. So let's say example 1. So what is given, like if we are encountering any 0 element in this matrix, then we have to set it entire row and entire column as 0. So we can see in this example when we have 0 in the first row and first column, so we have set the first row and first column as 0. In the same way, in this we are having 0 in the first row and 0 in the first row, last column and first column. So we have to set its first row, first column and last column is 0. Okay, so basically this is what is required from the question. So but what is the catch here is we have to do this solution in place. Okay, so we don't have to use any new space, we have to perform all the operation in the given matrix only. Okay, so what is the follow-up which is given in here? So like a straightforward solution, we can use a extra space of m cross n, and it is not a good idea. And if we are using a space of m plus n, it is not even a best solution. Okay, so we have to drive solution with a constant space. So let's try that. Okay, so basically we are given, so let's try the first of all, let's try with the that approach. First try with using m cross n space. Okay, so basically what we will do in this now, we will create a matrix, we will create a copy of a matrix. Let's say, okay, so we have created a copy of a matrix. Okay, now whenever we will refer this matrix, okay, we will refer the original matrix, and whenever we will encounter a 0, we will make that row as 0. So first we will do for row, then we will do for column. Okay, so in the same way, if we are encountering any 0 in particular row, we will make that row as 0, and in the same way, if we when we will traverse it for column, so whenever we will encounter column in a particular column, we will make that column as 0. Okay, we will refer this original matrix, and we will make changes in our temp matrix. Let's say it is the temp. Okay, so let's see, so we have encountered a 0, so we will make this row as complete 0. Okay, so we have made this row as 0. Now we are not having any zeros in this row. Okay, so and no other row will be made as 0 now. Okay, so okay, for column we have found 0 in first column, so we will make this column as 0. Okay, now this column does not contain any 0, this column does not contain any 0, this column contains a 0, so we will make this column also as 0. Okay, now we have found our resultant answer. Okay, so this we have got our result, but it is in temp. Okay, but we have to make these changes in the matrix, because we are not returning anything in this, we are returning void, and it will check for the, so it will check for the solution for the matrix. So what we will do, at last we will copy the element from this to this matrix. Okay, so this is our first solution using m and n space complexity. Now let's see the second solution using m plus n space time complexity set. Okay, we will use a constant space, like we will create a set which will contain the row which contains the 0, and one set for column which contains 0 in their column. Okay, so this is like 0 1 2 0 1 2 3. Okay, so we will iterate, first of all we will iterate this matrix. So for row, what we will get, we will get 0, okay, one time, because we are having set. Okay, and for column we will get 0, and we will get 3. Okay, so now we know that yes, we are having 0 in 0th row, and 0 in 0 and third column. Okay, so what we will do now, we will iterate this matrix, and whenever we will find, like, okay, so what we will do, whenever we will find we will find a row which is contained in the set. Okay, like if for example, if we are taking this example, so it's the index of this three element would be 0 comma 1 comma 0. Okay, so we have got this row, and this in our column set, so we will make this entire as 0, we will make that element as 0. In the same way, if we will look for this, so it is 2 comma 0, so we have got column in our column set, so we will make this element also as 0. Okay, in the same way, if we will look for this now, so it is 0 comma 1. Okay, So we have found this row in our row set, so we will make this element as 0. But if we will check for this now, like for example, let's say 5, so it is 1 comma 2, so neither 1 neither 2 is in row or column set, so we will not make this element as 0. So in this way, using m plus n space complexity, we will able to find the solution for this. But as it is given in the follow-up like these two, okay, but it is also not the best solution, so we have to try it in a constant space. So now let's look for the constant space solution space. Now for that, what we can do, now one thing we know, like if we are encountering any zero, okay, at any place, so we have to make that row and that column as 0. So if we are encountering 0 here, if 0 might have been here, then this complete row and this complete column is 0. Okay, so when this row and this column are tend to be 0, we can use these. Okay, we can use the space in the matrix itself to determine which row and which column need to be made 0. Case in third approach, what we will do, whenever we will encounter 0, we will make that first row, that row first that row first cell, and that column first cell as 0. Okay, so now if we are having this example, let's say we are having this example, so we have got 0 here. Okay, so what we will do, we will make this value as 0 and this value as 0. Okay, so now what we will do, so whenever we will iterate it, we will iterate, and whenever we will find, we will check if for particular I comma j, if its ith comma 0 is equals to 0, or jth comma 0 comma jth is equals to 0, then we will make that element as 0. Getting my point now? So like let's say this example, let's take this example only. Okay, what we are having, we have found 0 here. Okay, we have found 0 here. So what we will do, we will make its first row that column as 0 and that row first column as 0. Okay, so now if we will encounter anything like this, we are encountering like this for this I comma j, it is 0 1 2 and 0 1 2. Okay, so this is 1 comma 2. Okay, so what we will do, we will check 0 comma 1 because column, and we will check for 2 comma 0. Okay, that column, if its first row is 0, second column is 0, then we will make this element as 0, or either its first row, for that column its first row is 0, then we will make this element as 0. Okay, so in this way we will carry out our solution. But here the catch is like in this case, okay, what we will do, we will for this first row and first column is already 0, this is already 0. Okay, so what we will be doing here, for first row and first column, if everything's become 0, like if this is the case, like okay, let's say in this case, like this is already 0 0, so these row and column will be 0. Now when we will iterate this now, so this is 0, so this will also become 0, this will also become 0, because its ith row first element is 0. In the same way, these value become 0. Okay, this value becomes 0 because zeros are coming here, and we are checking for that particular index. Like for this index, this is 1 comma 1. Okay, so we will check for 1 comma 0 and 0 comma 1. If in any of these places we are encountering 0, then we will make this element as 0. So we already have 0 here, that was due to this 0. Okay, so this will also become 0. In the same way, this will also become 0, this will also become 0, this will also become 0. So whole matrix will become 0. So what we will do, we will store our like flags here in this first row and first column, and we will iterate it from here. Okay, we will iterate it from here, and for first row and first column we will make a separate flag, and we will perform operation on them. Okay, so like if we are encountering 0 in the first row, okay, let's say it become messy. If we are encountering 0 in the first row, okay, so what we will do, we will make a row flag as true. Okay, and we are encountering 0 in the first column, okay, or the okay, first column, then we will make column flag is equals to true, and after we have done with this portion of the matrix. What we will do, we will check this flag. If any of the flag is true, we will make that row or that column as 0. So now let's look its implementation. So let's start. Int let's take row is equals to matrix matrix dot size. Okay, then int call is equals to matrix matrix 0 comma size. Then we can have two flag variables for row rf and column flag, let's say, and make them as false. Okay, now first of all, what we need to do, we have to iterate for we will iterate the matrix for int I is equals to 0, I is less than row I plus plus int j is equals to 0, j is less than call j plus plus. What we will do, if for particular element we will check for matrix matrix for I comma j, if it is equals to 0, then what we will do, first of all we will check. Okay, because we have to maintain a separate flag for first row and first column. Okay, so if I is equals to 0, then we will make row flag is equals to true. Okay, if j is also equals to 0, okay, then we will make column flag is equals to true. Now other than this, what we will do, we will make matrix matrix of I comma 0, I comma 0 is equals to 0, and matrix matrix of 0 comma j is equals to 0. Okay, so we are done with this first loop. Okay, now what we will do, we will perform for the internal. Okay, internal this portion. Okay, so for that we will check for, we will not take the first row and first column, because if we take that, whole matrix will become 0 if any first row is 0 or first column is 0. Okay, int I is equals to 1, I is less than row I plus plus. Okay, for int j is equals to 1, j is less than call j plus plus. Okay, now what we will do, if we will check if matrix matrix of I comma 0 is equals to 0, or matrix matrix of 0 comma j is equals to 0, then what we will do, we will make matrix matrix of I comma j is equals to 0. So as we have told, if for particular row it is 0 or for particular column it is 0, then we will make that I comma j as 0. Okay, now we have done with the internal. Now the it's part for the first row and first column. So we will check if what we have named them column flag. Okay, row flag is equals to true, then what we will do, for int I is equals to 0, I is less than call I plus plus. Okay, we will make this matrix matrix of 0 comma I is equals to 0. Same we will do with if column flag, if we are encountering in any column, column flag is true, then for int I is equals to 0, I is less than row I plus plus. matrix matrix of I comma 0 is equals to 0. Okay, so this we have got. Now let's run this. It is accepted. Now let's submit. So it is submitted successfully. Now let's talk about its space complexity is constant, and for time complexity, as we are iterating this m and matrix, so its space time complexity will be m into n. Okay, so thank you for watching.